welcome to my presentation for the subject of BUS3EMC. My name is Kim, and following by my two group members, Mekas and Daniel. And here are outline that we're going to talk it today. We have divided into three parts, part 1, part 2, and 3, and part 1 will introducing by me, following by Daniel and Mekas. Introduction. Metro University is a university with a goal of protection of their historical, agricultural, political science, languages, and also human resource management in the last 15 years. This university have a vice chancellor with Professor Mira Victosa, and she found out when she on the position of managing of the university that the university have not met the preference of demand currently in the market, and also the financial that available of the university is very limited. More of the stuff in the university have come from the background of the human resource and management, which is less stuff in the health and sciences, which is more demand currently. Here are some of the change objective and principle that why the university should be changed to meet their demand currently, and also use the financial which is available wisely, and that she have to put all the fund which is available on spot to save financial of the university, and also increase the certification of the staff and student, that she have to make sure that all staff and employee and also student are happy in the process. And the principle that would be used in here would be the good Lewis change model, which is unfree movement and also reprising mode. Rationale of change. This why this university should be making the change process to the currently structure. As this mentioned, that the university have lost their demand currently, as the most students prefer to study in manage health and sciences and not human resource. And also the limitation of the financial that available is not allowed the university to expand more course for students and not deducting some the old back. And also they have to increase their rank university of the world rank university back to a good position, which is they have decreased a lot currently. And also when facing the redundancy, some of the staff might not be happy with that, and also it have good make a bad image on the social media, something like that, which is not making the staff and student happy for it. So this is why we should making the change process. And also here's some plan of the change element, which is having divided into 4 parts: management team, academic and professor staff, redundancy staff, and also student. For the management team, it is important that they have set a clear and good communicate with the staff about their goal that have been set it, and also letting them to have feedback and also providing support to them if they need it. Also academic staff to have make sure that they are having a right workload and treat them equally from all department in the university, and also providing a good working environment and culture to them. And also student, even though we are in the change process, but we have to make sure that they have meet a good quality that they should be got it in the previous time, and also good working and also good study environment. For redundancy staff, we could see that in here Professor Victosa have got a very good plan for the redundancy staff. She have providing a package, also asking for volunteer for the redundancy, which is a very good option to making a change in this area. And now we'll continue with Daniel. We introduce the next part.
Thank you very much. With any redundancies and financial strain in the business, the staff, of course, from a key stakeholder analysis point of view, it's going to have a lot of insecurity around the job security and the lack of input in the decision. Management, from a different perspective, will be dealing with resistance from the staff. Of course, it's a massive change to the curriculum. It's going to affect a large majority of the staff. And then the budget and resource allocation decision, as we're switching from a focus from one department to another, there'll be more resources allocated accordingly. Unions will be concerned with the work conditions for their staff, making sure that's suitable, the legal considerations if the redundancies and the financing decisions are legal. Ethical considerations, of course, links with the work conditions and legal conditions. For the students' perspective, the timing of the graduation, students in humanities or health sciences would like an unaffected graduation, and of course, the quality of the education. Looking for the needs analysis and the communication style for each group. Staff, emotional support for their concerns. They would like their concerns heard. Redundancies and financial decisions are quite a touchy topic. Looking for a respectful style with clear and concise and informative. Management would like to be heavily involved in the process with a strategic communication style, providing direct reasons for the change. They need to pass this on to the staff and the students, so they need to be well equipped with this. The unions, they would like alignment with their values and their vision, with how they'd like the business to be approached, and they're looking for a collaborative and informative communication style relating to direct impacts. Students, they want clarity and consistency. Of course, some students will be affected by humanities students and the changing of the curriculum, looking for a soft, simple style of approach with concise and transparent information. Preferred media consultations would be, for the majority, would be face to face. The change in the university is quite a large one, so they'd like to, if possible, everyone discuss with face to face. But if not, we have video conferencing. Online training will help avoid some of the resistance to change and help overcome it by training staff and seeing where everyone's at skill wise. Consistent email support is important as well. Once off email may miss a few inboxes, but if it's consistently sent, has a greater chance of capturing a larger audience. Great way to assess the readiness of employees would be the surveys and questionnaires to see how everyone is feeling about the change. Launching into a communication and education program will help hopefully overcome a lot of that. Help take people from not being ready to ready. That's what education will do, and assess their current skill level of employees. That will help gauge if it's the right time to do so. Key messages. We have 6 to go through. The gains, emergence in growing fields. That's really important because it helps keep up with the industry trends, helping the university stay afloat with potential research grants that come from that, which is going to add to financial gain, which will ultimately benefit the students, the staff, and all the stakeholders. And enhancing university reputation is really important because now we're keeping up with the times, and the view of the university is quite different. The losses, of course, a reduced humanities department. That's bad for some students and staff. The redundancies and retirement transition obviously affect key staff members, and the student anger, which needs to be fixed. But hopefully, the next 3 points, introducing a clear vision for the future. Hopefully, that as well as emphasizing the importance of adaptation and the rationale for change. Hopefully, those combined will help offset some of the student anger, some of the resistance to change, and some of the frustration in the university. Thank you very much. On to Marcus.
Thank you, Daniel. I'll jump right into change support structures. So one support structure that should be utilised by Manchester University is a change team. This is a group of people that aim to implement change within the organisation effectively and efficiently. This team should include members from all areas critical to functioning systems that focus on improvement of activities. So this might include workers, supervisors, areas of the university where changes will be implemented. This way, Manchester University is able to make and execute adjustments in the change process as soon as problems arise. And doing so will enable the university and Professor Virtuosa to navigate the adversity of the change process effectively. The second change support structure I'll talk about is the improved effectiveness of utilizing key stakeholders, early involvement in the change process. So there should be consultation during the implementation phase. So the input and feedback can shape the changes, making them more acceptable and effective. So for example, involving students as a key stakeholder can improve Professor Virtuosa and gain an insightful perspective on the impacts the changes have on their own personal lifestyle as students. So this might urge alterations to the change process that caters for a particular stakeholder and thus reduce the resistance to change, as well as increase the effectiveness of change process as a whole, as stakeholders are being heavily considered during the process. Next slide, thank you. So I'll try and jump through this as quick as I can. So in regards to developing a change plan, I think the first stage is creating the change management team. As spoken about before, this is identifying and appointing people responsible for overseeing and executing the change. Professor Virtuosa will be heavily involved in this, as she's the advocate for change at the university. This will start at the beginning of the change process. Next up will be defining the visions and objectives. So Virtuosa must inform the necessary people of the desired outcome of the change and how this benefits the university. Stakeholder engagement. Identify and analyze key stakeholders, including faculty, staff members, students, alumni, and external partners. This can then enable them to develop a tailored engagement plan for each stakeholder group to keep them informed and involved throughout the whole change process. This will be at the beginning of the change process under the refreezing stage as well, and can also be measured by the level of engagement and return from stakeholders. So change for readiness assessment is to understand whether the organization is ready for the change. This is under the unfreezing stage and begins at the start of the change process. Training and development. Design and implement training programs to equip staff with the necessary skills to excel in their new roles. This could include offering mentor programs to facilitate knowledge transfer between experienced and transitioning employees. And it'll be important to gain the feedback of staff members being trained to see sort of what skill level they're at. Next part, we're jumping into the changing process itself. So this will be the voluntary redundancies and part-time transitions. So you have to execute the plan to offer voluntary redundancy packages to staff in the humanities and social sciences. It's important to calculate the financial benefits of certain staff being made redundant, and you can use this to sort of measure the success of doing so. Next up would be the infrastructure reinvestment, so allocating the resources for building centres of teaching and research excellence in health and physical health and sciences. This is to ensure that infrastructure supports universities' long-term goals and needs. This will be done during the changing process as well. Then we have monitoring and evaluating. So you have to evaluate these changes in order to track the progress and success. This is also done in the changing process, and you can analyze relevant data points such as student enrollments in physical health and science, and also the disposable capital from the redundancies. Then recognize and reward. So it's highlighting those who accepted the change positively and encourage that behavior further. And this will be part of the refreezing stage. After that, we review the change process. So conduct a post-implementation review to assess the overall impact of the success of the restructuring. Then lastly will be sustainability planning. So this is developing a long-term sustainability plan to ensure that the university's operations remain aligned with changing student demands and funding priorities. Next slide, thank you, Daniel. All right, lastly, we'll be talking about the change plan evaluation. So one way of gaining such insight is through employee surveys and feedback. Pulse surveys can get an overall employee satisfaction level as they're able to rate their emotion and attitude towards a change from a scale of 1 to 5, for example. Open-end surveys can also be conducted, so that leaves employees with sort of larger grounds to discuss issues for the future. Key performance indicators are effective in evaluating the success of change. So Professor Virtuoso can analyze turnover rates before and after change, and a reduction in turnover is a positive indicator of improved satisfaction and morale. Productivity metrics such as project completion rates, meeting deadlines, research output, that sort of stuff can also indicate whether change is implemented successfully. Lastly, Professor Virtuoso should also conduct qualitative assessments through one-on-one interviews with cross-selection of employees. Along with that, group interviews can also gain a deeper insight. Thank you.